WeRiseNation.com.
This where the grown men stay so you can kill that noise. We be the best to do it coming out of Illinois. So sit back and relax, close your mouth and listen. We bout to hit you with this knowledge that you've been missing. Listen closely to the Grown Men Podcast. We Rise Nation is the station with the gift of gab. We dropping knowledge on these topics that you wanna hear. We on point with it, get the picture loud and clear. If you seek it, you will find what you looking for. And what you hear us, it'll leave you looking for some more. Open the door, let us in, we got a special vibe. Now close the door, lock us in and enjoy the ride. We about to talk about some things that make a lot of sense. And what we talking about here sometimes will get intense. That's what we looking for, trying to spark a conversation. Join us live or you can listen on the We Rise Nation. This where the grown men stay so you can kill that noise. We be the best to do it coming out of Illinois. So sit back and relax, close your mouth and listen. We bout to hit you with this knowledge that you've been missing. This where the grown men stay so you can kill that noise.
Welcome back to another edition of the Grown Men Podcast. I am your host, BAN, and welcome back to the show. Well, folks at We Rise Nation, we always talking about different topics and different stories, and I'm glad to be joined once again, remotely, of course, my brother, Mark. Mark, it's good to have you back in We Rise Nation on the Grown Men Podcast. It's good to see you back in.
It's always a pleasure to be right back in community with my brother and talk about it. Issues that, we all should be concerned about, and we all should, take very, very seriously in a way. And still try to have a little fun with it.
Well, today's topic, what we was talking about, Mark, off air, we was talking about these things, a lot of different things that's going on in the world today. But one of the most important things that we've come across is AI. That's right, artificial intelligence and us, right? So how does this affect our everyday lives? Does it matter? Because there are a lot of people right now who they're trying to give lessons to of what AI actually is, Mark. That's the thing that amazes me, but not really to the fullest because people are aware of it. But then there's also people who don't deal in technology at all. So what do you think about it?
I mean, basically, so, like, for me, like, we have a lot of things that we are aware of, but that just gets put out there. Like, I mean, I've been saying it for years myself personally. So, like, a lot of people with technology, like, we are as advanced as we ever been, like, in my lifetime, as far as, like, the growth of technology. To have a cellular phone. A phone that, like, I never, like, basically, like, when I was a kid, when I was young, I didn't think that you would be able to have a phone and you can use it to watch movies and take pictures, to make movies,
right,
make music, I mean, these, like, what I'm saying, great technologies that we have now. You have a GPS back in, I'm saying, again, back in my day, not to date myself. Man, I'm not like, I'm not that advanced in age, but still, like, I remember, like, when you used to, want to travel somewhere, you need to have a map. You need to, like, be able to, like, look at the map and pinpoint where you are and all that kind of stuff. Now you can do, like, Google Map and, so on and all that. So I say all that to say with the, like, advancement of like, AI, just like everything else, we got this great technology that can do a lot of good things, but we choose to use it for nonsense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all the technology that we have with the phones and stuff, I mean, we're on social media, we on the gram, we posting pictures, we using filters and, changing our appearance and all this kind of stuff, playing around or trying to pick up girls or whatever you're trying to do. Women trying to, like, make themselves look like they wish they could look like, but But in reality, they don't really look that way once you get to meet them. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing like that. Like you got this great, valuable technology that you can actually use for greater purposes than like, you know what I'm saying, BS. And like AI is also like, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to like, you know, people in our community or like low income folks or urban or whatever you say, like, you know, we got this thing to play around with, and it's cool to see like you know, Tupac as a baby and he's talking and rapping, or you can bring back Martin Luther King to be on Monday Night Raw. You know, stuff like dumb stuff.
Right.
We use it for dumb stuff.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's funny, it's all, you know what I'm saying, it's good. You know, we like to be entertained, we like to get a laugh.
Right.
Now, here's the problem is that, like, we, you know, that stuff makes us love it. Oh, man, this is a great AI and all that kind of stuff. But then we come to like the people who's trying to control AI. Like, we don't think about who's pushing AI, who's trying to control it. And, like, they sit there and feed us the fun stuff. They give us the cookies. Everybody like cookies and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, once we're comfortable and playing around with it, then they start, like, you know, dropping the hammer on us, because you get, you know, the people like, you know, Peter Thiels of the world, who's a billionaire, just like Elon Musk, a foreigner, immigrant, if you will, a South African guy.
Right.
And, like, he's been heavily involved in U.S. politics. He pretty much was the man that's been promoting J.D. Vance, who would be the next president.
Right.
Barring something happens to Trump, which, you know, that could be very possible. But J.D. Vance been groomed and stuff. He's controlled by Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is a billionaire, and he's really big on pushing AI, also pushing gambling, Bitcoin, things like that. But it's like, you know, the way they're trying to function with AI is to pretty much eliminate the use for human beings, as far as like doing like jobs and stuff. Like, you know, why, if you can, you know what I'm saying, create a way where you can get a computer to do a job of a human being, why would you need a human? You know, human beings make mistakes. Human beings, you know, have things that happen to them in their life. While if you have a computer, you know, you like eliminate a lot of those problems. So that's something that we all should be aware of.
Yeah, the thing is about that, Mark, is that I've been doing a little research on that, and of course using common sense, which I've thought about all the time. As I look back on that episode of The Simpsons when Mr. Burns replaced all the employees with robots except Homer. And that was the premise of it. But I started thinking about it myself and saying, look, the reason why they want to replace human beings because we have emotions and feelings, something that these computers don't have. However, if you build humanoid androids, who's to say they won't develop the same characteristics as us as humans only are supposed to have?
I mean, that could be possible, but I mean, again, if you have like androids and like, I mean, basically like you can create a function like to, like, you know what I'm saying, turn off like Elon Musk, he has the what they call it, that program, Grok.
Yeah.
The Grok program.
Right.
And yeah, it was Grok was just pretty much like, you know, giving it to you raw. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you answer the question, it's gonna give, like, you know, based off, you know, all the researches and the like, you know, compatibility that Grok have with, like, you know, whatever you ask the question, it's gonna give you like the, like, you know, direct information. And I remember a few months ago, Grok was asked something about Elon Musk and all that kind of stuff, and he didn't like it, so he you know, he pretty much changed it up.
Right, but
So
see, that's
no, go ahead.
no, but see, that's the thing. People like something until it says something that they don't like or approve of. It's the same way with what's going on in the federal government. But I'm gonna let you carry on with your statement. I just wanted to add that fact. People don't.
Oh, absolutely.
People like things until it's said about them that they don't like, and then they no longer like it.
Well, I mean, that's what, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, like based on the question that you asked and stuff. I mean, because you was pretty much asking, well, like I mean, with if you try to make a human androids or like humanoids and things like that, and like the robots or whatever would take on the same feelings of like humans. I mean, at the end of the day, if there's still a robot or some kind of like machinery, you can correct it to the levels or the ways that you would like to have it at.
Okay, now you remember the movie RoboCop, right?
Sure.
And then you had RoboCop where he was basically clinically dead, right? So they went in and they basically harvested the parts that they could use because he was shot up pretty bad. He was missing an arm and all that stuff. So here's the thing. He went along with that whole deal too, right? Where they had changed his whole, his memories and stuff was wiped out. And then I believe it was part 2 where he started remembering his family, driving by his family's house, and the wife was getting upset because at first she went to see him and she knew that was his face, but then he didn't respond when she touched him. He displayed human emotions. And that's the thing that they're not understanding. And I think maybe they are. And maybe they are these type of people who want to see something like that where these humanoid androids have feelings. And then you give them guns and you give them weapons. That's not going to end well. It's the same way with scientists who want to resurrect woolly mammoths and all these other kind of creatures. I know I'm getting off on a different topic, but to me, it still balances out as the same thing. You have a technology that can be used for great things, but I'm afraid that most of it is going to be used for evil.
Yes, I mean that's pretty much what it all boils down to. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, what are they aware of? You know what I'm saying? What can go wrong or not? I mean, my thing is, we shouldn't be in this situation. Like, we shouldn't be having this conversation like that. I mean, because it's just the way that they pushing AI and they normalizing it, as we like to say. I mean, that's the normal. Like I said, they put it out there to the public, let them play around with it, see all the different things. You can change your appearance and all that fun stuff and all that, and then make videos like they had with the Congresswoman out of New York, AOC. They had posted a AI video where she was saying things that she would never say in real life, let alone on the floor of the House of Congress. Using like profanity and things like that.
Right.
And somebody actually, I mean, a lot of people actually thought that was real because they didn't see the little tagline on the bottom, like, this is not, whatever.
But that's
I forget what the tagline say, but that's the whole thing. Like it can create a whole lot of complications in people's lives when you have the ability to imitate somebody's voice and mannerisms to a T, I mean, get somebody in trouble, get somebody caught up with with their wife or something like that. You can make fake stuff, get somebody in trouble at work, things, things of that nature. I mean, that's why, it needs to be regulated. And we was talking about offline, pretty much about how they're trying to deregulate a lot of this stuff and just allow AI, to do whatever it wants, so to speak.
Well, yeah, that's what the current administration and the president Trump, he wants to do that because he said this out of his own mouth that the 50 states won't go for this deal. So he's trying to make it an executive order because he's trying to get this thing run through so they can then go and mess with our personal data, which is what they want to do.
Not only that, I mean, he's threatening to withhold fundings for broadband. if they don't go along with what he's trying to do. I mean, what he's claiming is like, oh, you're like slowing down the progress of American growth and all that. This gonna make everybody billions of dollars, and we're gonna bring in trillions, and we already make a lot of money and blah blah blah. Trump is a puppet. He's an idiot. He don't know. He see now. He has dementia. I mean, he's at the end of his rope. Like I said, he's probably gonna be dead within anywhere between now and within 2 or 3 years. I mean, because he's just, really in bad shape. And that's the whole thing about it. That's why they're pushing for like so many laws and changing so many things. He has the Supreme Court in his back pocket. That's like allowing them to do a lot of these things because basically the people with the money, the billionaires, these like oligarchs and people like that, they want to control. They want to run the United States like a business. They want there to be a CEO, in charge of a country, and that just doesn't work because it's not going to be for everybody.
Right.
And they don't want it to be for everybody. Like we was talking about a couple months ago before with the man in Missouri and stuff, like, if this is for everybody, then I don't want to, I don't want it at all. And that's how they feel. They want certain people to be in control, and they want certain people to be controlled.
Right.
Simple as that. Donald Trump is happy as long as Donald Trump can put some money in his pocket and put his name on some stuff, and he's a clown. It's not even about him. He's not even running things.
Right.
Stephen Miller running things, and Russ Vought, the guy that can't get laid, is running things, and they're trying to groom and prop up J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance cannot win the election on his own because he don't have the riz or charisma. So, that's why they're trying to rig this whole thing. My thing is to try to get as many people aware about what's going on as full as possible, because we are a nation that's easily distracted. Easily. I mean, like AI and stuff like that, this is a serious deal. Like, like I say, you can have fun with it or play with it, but you got to pay attention to what is really going on, because you might show up to work one day, get called to the office like, oh yeah, you know what, we're going to end your position because it's no longer necessary.
Right.
You find out that damn robot is doing your job.
Right.
That's some serious stuff.
So here's a list of pros and cons of AI, which actually AI came up with. When you think about it.
You go.
So it says the pros and cons of AI. The integration of AI into various sectors has brought both significant benefits and challenges. Here are some of the key pros and cons of AI. The pros: increase efficiency. AI can automate repetitive tasks, leading to faster and more accurate results. Improve decision making. AI systems can analyze vast amounts of data to make informed decisions, often outperforming human judgment in complex scenarios. Enhance customer experience. AI-driven chatbots and virtual assistants can provide personalized and efficient customer service. I disagree with that 100% because I've been involved in that. But I'm going to move on. Accelerated innovation. AI can accelerate the development of new products and services by speeding up the process of testing and refining ideas. So those were all the pros that they listed for AI. Now here are some of the cons. What you just talked about. Job displacement. AI can lead to job losses in sectors where it can replace human workers, such as data entry, customer service, and other routine tasks. Bias and discrimination. AI systems can inherit biases from their training data, leading to unfair treatment of individuals or groups. Lack of emotion and creativity. AI lacks the emotional intelligence and creativity that are often required for human-centered interactions and problem solving. AI's impact on society is multifaceted, and its future will depend on how we manage its development and deployment. Balancing the benefits and addressing the challenges will be crucial for harnessing AI's potential while minimizing its drawbacks. So right there, they laid out the pros and cons. And as I said, Mark, there's a lot of things in here I look at and I deal with on a regular basis, all the time. And like they said, when you feed a lot of data from what people think and how they feel into these systems, and then they can unfairly bias against one group or another. What do you think about things like that?
No, I mean, I completely agree with that. I mean, and with most of the pros that you had just laid out there, I mean, honestly, I disagree with most of it because, I mean, for the simple fact, I mean, for like a civilization to go on and survive, you need human beings, you need human thought, even the mistakes. Like the one thing I would say, like, I mean, as far as busy work or tasks and stuff like that or whatever, I mean, that can be very beneficial to be able to those like little miscellaneous tasks that like have to be done. I mean, more like, what I'm saying, going into office work or paperwork type of things like that, things of that nature. But you need the human element. You cannot eliminate that. Even with the mistakes, you need those human mistakes. I mean, mistakes are good to have because that helps us grow as human beings and people. That helps us learn. So basically, in like essence, is like the more powerful AI becomes, it gets to the reason like why would you have to think at all? Like you have to have critical thinking if you want to survive as a species. I mean, you have to have thought process and all that kind of stuff. I mean, basically all of that sounds like AI is trying to eliminate all of that the same way when we, again, going back to like the technology that we had before, like AI and stuff. I mean, it makes us more lazy when you can order stuff online. You can order anything online now. You got DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff. You don't have to cook. I remember, I don't remember exactly when they created the microwave, but I remember when microwave was a big thing. Put it in the microwave and, all that kind of stuff. I mean, as opposed to, it basically makes us all lazy is what I'm trying to get at. And I mean, once you become more lazy as a person and all that kind of stuff, then what use are you if you're going to rely on everything to be done with the assistance or with the full control of technology?
Well, that's the thing that a lot of scientists believe where we're heading in the future is that our bodies won't even be necessary because everything will be generated through our brain and it will be automated. So at that point, as a lot of people are saying, would we even be human anymore? What is the purpose of having
a whole human race?
Yeah, we wouldn't even be human anymore because what would be the need for limbs? We wouldn't need arms, legs, or anything like that. We'll just live everything from out our brains and our existence. To me,
that's the whole point. Where I was saying, going back to the likes of like the Peter Thiels of the world and people like that just want to control everything. They only Elon Musk said it himself about a couple months ago. I forgot who he was interviewing. It might have been Fox News, something like that. I mean, forgive me, everybody that's listening, if I don't have to like a location and all that where you said from, but we have about 375, 80 million people in this country right now, something like that, give or take a few. Elon Musk would like to cut that in half. You want to be about around, like, you know what I'm saying, 150 million people.
Right.
You want, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, things of that nature. That should be very, like, alarming, because you basically, you know, want to, you know, eliminate human life.
Yeah.
You basically want to kind of be like Thanos off the damn Avenger movie, snap your finger and like wipe out half of the country. You know, and you know, and the ones that you keep around, you want to be able to rule over and control. It's conquer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it all boils down to, and like, you know, AI is very much a big part of that. Now the problem is, like, I mean, as the world turns and stuff, because this is just the United States of America, but you know, there's like other countries around the world with other kind of people and all that kind of stuff. Some of them not going to go along with it. I mean, China is very heavily involved in AI. They call theirs something different though, and they like actually more like advanced where like the United States is.
Right.
I mean,
and that's what's
China is like really becoming more and more advanced in like a lot of areas that we used to be number one in. So I mean, that's something to look out for as well. But
because they gave us a lot of technology, Mark, and like you just said, it has made us lazy. So now we no longer go to libraries to look things up. Why do that when we can go on this phone and look?
But they was making a big thing about like the students in like at Harvard, which is always considered you know, the top school in the world or whatever. I mean, I disagree with that notion too. But like a lot of kids was saying, like a lot of like students was talking about how they don't read at all.
Yeah. And that's what they were saying, that the kids in the future, unfortunately, they won't have the need to read or write. All they need to do is look up information. They're not even teaching writing anymore in school. That's why when I go over it here with AJ, it's one of those situations where why am I showing him this when in reality he'll probably never use this technology in his life. Same way with the other little ones that are growing up, because everything is done.
That's a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not a good thing at all.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Like we need to have these things. That we already lost so much of like I said we were speaking about before. Like I mean, how we lost the ability to like grow stuff for ourselves, to have a garden, to you know what I'm saying, be able to like grow our food and things of that nature and stuff. I mean, it's just the more and more we become more of a lazy society, and we lose the ability to be able to do things on our own. So again, like I mean, as far as for the future, the future generation that's coming up and everything like that, like you know how can you survive? It's important to be aware and not buy into like AI and stuff like that. I mean, really. I've used AI personally myself a couple times. I played around with it and that was it. But it's like, I try to avoid it as much as I can. I don't like, getting phone calls and talking to AI or calling a company for like whatever reason and getting the damn, AI voiceover or whatever, I mean, it drives me crazy. I can't deal with that.
Well, you know what I think about AI, Mark? I go back to the episode of The Simpsons, one of our favorite ones. That's where I think AI should be used when Homer and Bart was driving for old reliable Red Barkley, right? I think that's where I want AI to be in effect. I want AI if a driver is tired or a driver is sleepy or whatever the case, even though they shouldn't be on the road in that condition. But say, for instance, they have a medical emergency. I would like AI to be able to correct that, see the danger, and then stop that vehicle and stop someone from possibly getting killed. That's how I see AI working. That's what I want AI to do. I want AI to work these jobs that are very dangerous for people, like working in these plants that have molten steel and all that stuff where you can be killed. Like one man was killed that way. He fell in a hot vat of molten metal. What a way to die, right? I mean, and that's something that if you had a machine do that, yeah, you would have lost that machine, but you wouldn't have lost that human life. And more than likely, the machine wouldn't have failed. That's where I would like to see AI. AI doing the dangerous jobs that human beings shouldn't be doing. You know, some of these dangerous jobs.
I mean, yeah, when it comes to something like that, yeah, I can see that. I can understand that. But, I mean, again, that's not what they're not using AI to, you know what I'm saying, help humanity is the whole point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it should be used for. That's what any technology, any kind of development should be used for, to give people a easier life, not necessarily a lazier life.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's a big difference. Again, like, I mean, you know, I don't mind Google Map. You know, you gotta like look through, you know, where you're trying to go to. I mean, that's a convenience, and like, you know, Google should at least point you in the right direction, but that don't mean that you shouldn't pay attention at all to where you're going. I mean, you want to like, you know, look at things like, you know, roads and signs and things of that nature. You know, Google Map is only supposed to help assist you, not just like, you know, do everything for you. And again, with this technology, we get to become more and more reliant on it to do everything for us. And I mean, it's ridiculous. Now you have AI dating now. You can, you know, which I still don't fully understand how that works, but I remember like listening to a ad about it, advertisement. Yeah, AI dating, that you can make the person, you know, make a woman look exactly how you want her to look like, and you could change her every time. Like, no, what is that? Like, that's, you know.
I mean, the whole thing about that,
when you're ridiculous.
When you use AI for things like that, I feel that that's a waste of technology, because here you have a technology that can be assisting surgeons and assisting doctors with coming up with ways to save lives. And I know you just said before, that's not what they want it for. However, that's what it should be used for, regardless of what they're trying to do. They want to take over the world and they want to do this. Look, we've seen this playbook throughout the history. All we have to do is go back and study the history, and people come and people have gone, and the earth has always stood. So it's up to us what we want to do with this technology. The problem is, like you said earlier, the Peter Thiels and the Elon Musk and all these other tech bros and billionaires and people, they want to own things. The reason why Elon Musk, his sole purpose to want to go to Mars, because he wants to own it. And the thing is, like, they brought up this topic and they were saying, who owns the moon? No one owns it. Whoever wants to go up there can have it if you can survive. It's reasons for all this. There's levels to all these things. It's reasons why we can't go to these places, because you can't live there. However, AI can help us understand these foreign places in our universe that we hope to visit in the future, our lineage. But as they said before, if they do go into space and then you start to procreate, right? And you make children, they're no longer going to be Earth, people of Earth. They're no longer going to be humans at that point if you start adding things to them. So at that point, the further you move away from this, the further you're going to have any human actions whatsoever, and everything will be under AI and artificial intelligence.
When you start to go into that direction and stuff, I mean, like, it begs to ask the question, like, why don't we want to take care of the earth like what we have now? And that's, I mean, we've done so much damage to the earth, and I would say that we've done a lot of unnecessary damage to the earth. Now, I get, like, you know what I'm saying, like developing land, and, you know what I'm saying, happen, you know, places where people can, like, you know, habitate in, and as we talked about before, the more they like dig into the earth and all that, that's not good. That's what causes a lot of these like natural disasters, earthquakes, and things like that. Like, I mean, because we're building buildings and property on things that was never meant to, you know what I'm saying, hold that type of stuff there. So it's like, you know, because it goes into the whole realms of environmental, right? Like you talk about the pollution and how we're destroying the earth and like, you know, climate change and all that kind of stuff, which is all bad. It's like we have the technology where we can, you know what I'm saying, help save the earth. But those, but like a lot of the people with money, the tech bros and all them, they're not really interested in that. That's why they always trying to go into space, try to find a new place because they know that sooner or later, yeah, they will indeed destroy the earth. But once you get out, just like you pretty much talked about, like into those open spaces, you know, try to go to those different type of planets, that there's no way you can survive. At least you can't survive comfortably.
Well, Mars is a pipe dream at this point because you cannot breathe on the Martian surface. That is a known fact. And regardless of what they try to imitate those kind of conditions on this planet, you will not survive it. And there are also a lot of different reasons that you won't survive. And like they said before, loneliness, knowing that you're away from your home planet. Who wants to undertake that task? Who is cold and sterile enough to do that? See, tech bros and billionaires, they want to move away from people and they want to own, they've owned land, right? Now they want to own planets. And this is their way of thinking that they can do this. But it's not going to happen in their lifetime. It's not going to happen in their children, and their children's lifetime. It's not going to happen. Man was meant to walk Earth. That's why we were put here.
These people are completely out their mind, though. I mean, and that's the fact that we should really be driving home. These people are insane. They're not eccentric, or they're not these smart as great. These people are completely out their mind, and they believe that they can extend their life. They believe, like, you know what I'm saying, they can, like, you know what I'm saying, do things to themselves to make them live, like, you know what I'm saying, as long as they feel they want to live. They actually buy into all of that nonsense, like they buy into the crazy stuff. And it's very important for us overall as society not to normalize it, not to buy into it, and for God's sakes, I mean, stop worshiping people because they have money. I mean, we sit there and glorify people because they got big. Oh man, this guy got $1 billion. I mean, we don't know how he got it, but he got it. So let's go ahead and worship him and, you know, put him up on the pedestal and tell him how great he is. I mean, that's the thing I think a lot of people are, like, you know what I'm saying, getting away from doing because they see what's going on right now, like in their lives and the lives of their friends and family and people like that that's getting affected by in a negative way by, like, a lot of the stuff that's going on. So when you talk about, like, space travel and all that kind of stuff, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of proven facts, but, you know, when it comes to, like, the Peter Thiels and billionaires like that, they believe differently. They believe that they can control, and that's what it's all about, controlling something. They really believe they own BS.
Well, yeah, when it comes to things of that nature, a lot of these guys have big egos, right? They have a lot of money behind that ego. So they feel they can use that and use this new technology, which is AI, that's been coming on stronger and stronger and stronger. They want to use that, like you said, to control the world and possibly the universe. That's the thing that gets me, Mark.
I mean, what gets me is, like, once again, so many people that sit there, like, you know, capitulate and buy into it. Like, you know, where's the media at there? Where's the real journalists? I mean, there are, like, a lot of people online that do speak out about that, but they're not mainstream. They're not, like, this is stuff that should have been discussed on a MS Now, or, like, you know, CNN or CBS or ABC, or, like, you know, that these are serious stuff, but they're not gonna do it because they just trying to get a check, and they happy, like, what I'm saying, like, making the money that they make and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they basically don't really, or not as concerned for the future as much they should be, especially if you got family and children and all that kind of stuff. I mean, would you be good with your kids and your grandkids and your great grandchildren like struggling and suffering because of things that you fail to, like, to take control of right now while you can? I mean, that's my whole thing about it. Like, these people, like, a lot of these people should be in jail, to be honest. Elon Musk should be behind bars. But that's another sad note. But I mean, that's my whole thing about it. Like, you don't see enough pushback in the mainstream. And, I'm still personally hopeful with the future generation that is coming up, very hopeful, because you got, like, a lot of people that's thinking differently from what people was thinking before them. So there's always a possibility for better. But right now, we definitely need to be in tune and aware of what's going on and frankly stop using this stuff. I mean, because it can't be powerful if people don't use it.
Right. Well, see, that's just the thing. You just said it, because for the simple fact, there are a lot of people who are embracing it. They're normalizing it, and they want to use it in their everyday lives because it's been effective for them. They're not looking at humanity as a whole. They're only looking about their situation that they're in. And if AI has helped them, then they look at it like, hey, it's a good deal. They're not looking at all the other implications from using AI on a regular basis. There's nothing wrong with, like you said, if you want to be online and you want to play with your friends and make funny videos and things of that nature, okay, that's fine. But I don't want AI doing things with my data. I don't want AI in my bank account. I don't want them on my phones. That's why I've been lately cutting back. Why I canceled a lot of things I had online. All of this stuff that I had, my social media accounts. Because I don't want them saying things that they think I would say based on my data and what they have gotten from the information that I have given online.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, that's what we have to develop, as a society, is resistance. We have to stop just buying into everything and just allowing ourselves to get, to the point where we just want to rely, or we got this tool and we just gonna just lean on that. I mean, again, like, all the technology, the development and all that, it is to, like, assist, not take over.
Right.
Like, we still need to have critical thinking. We still need to have a thought process. We still need to, like, for the sake of humanity, if people care about being human beings.
Yeah.
I mean, we're here for a reason. Everybody is. And I'm not trying to get off on no, like, religious take or anything like that, but everybody's here for a reason to experience life. And, like, basically, if you're somebody that's like, oh, well, I'm on why, I mean, like, what do I care and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they pretty much a selfish person. I mean, most people, or at least it used to be, most people wanted to, like, live their life, have a family, have kids, and, have your offspring. Oh, that's part of me that's going to continue on and on like that. But once you start thinking it's like, hey, I'm just going to live until I'm gone, then after that, whatever, I mean, then you already lost. Because you already just pretty much you pretty much surrendered your whole humanity.
Absolutely, Mark. And I see it all the time. People are already doing it because they go online and they start talking about these videos that they've posted or they saw. And like you said earlier, they immediately run with this as if it's a fact. Like you were saying earlier with the AOC thing. I just don't understand how people are that gullible. I just really don't. It just boggles my mind sometimes. And it's not just young people. That's the problem that I have with it. It'd be different if you have some 20-year-olds or 15, 16-year-olds, because they were born in the 2000s. So their mindset right away is going to be different from your mindset. That's understandable. But when you see people that are our age, in our age range, and they're falling for this okie doke, they're falling for this nonsense, that's what I have a problem with. Because
you see people, I was gonna say, but you see people with like degrees and status.
Yeah,
they go for us too.
Yeah, that's the thing. What I'm talking about. These are people who are highly educated and efficient in how we live our lives today, and they knew how we lived our lives back in the 1970s and 80s and in the 90s. Until we got up into this point. That's why, to me, when I look around, I'm saying to myself, what's really real anymore? It's like you said earlier when we were talking about it. People going on these dating apps that use AI, and they can say, okay, this is what we know you like. This is your fantasy. But the fun was always getting to that fantasy, right? The chase. Exactly. It was about the chase. Now they want to take the chase away from you and say, okay, here it is right here. Then I'm no longer interested at that point, because what did I do to get it? What kind of work did I put in to chase this perfect mate for me down? I put in zero work.
What exactly are you getting?
Yeah.
You're not getting a real person at all. Like, you get something. It's basically porn.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know everything about AI dating, but like I said, I've seen ads and stuff like that. And I don't see that being a real person that you can like touch and feel.
Well, see, that's the whole thing.
Unless they're gonna send over a damn cyborg.
Well, if you remember, they started in the 90s with virtual reality, right? So they're taking it to the next level.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're taking it to the next level where you can actually go ahead and print out your perfect mate that will never say no, that will do everything you want them to do. Basically like a Stepford wife and your sexual fantasy at the same time. Do we really? But it's not a human. Do we really want that? Do we really want that? It's like it's like an episode of The Twilight Zone where the guy, he was gambling and he always won. And he always got the beautiful woman. And he always got this and that. And then the fat man who was supposed to be like his godfather or whatever, he was saying, this is what heaven is supposed to be like? I said, no, you're not in heaven. You're in the other place. Which, that is the truth. Because you'll be if you win at everything you do, right? And if you do nothing but win and everything is all laid out for you, where is the life in that? Life is for living, not for being programmed. What do you say?
That's the whole point. You pretty much like nailed it right there. That's like a mic drop moment. That's what life. You take good, the bad, everything. You know what I'm saying? There's moments in life where we feel miserable. There's moments in life where we are overjoyed and all that kind of stuff. How can you enjoy the sunshine? How can you enjoy the sunshine if you never experience the darkness?
Exactly. Exactly.
How could you, enjoy a nice warm day if you didn't have to go through the snow, if you didn't have to go through the rain and everything? That's all life. And like I said, whether you believe in God or not or whatever, you want to, that's all part of it. That's what we do. That's why we get up to live, to go on. And if you have children, you watch them and you try to give them all the tools and teach them as much as you can, and then watch them go off and develop their own life and, see how they interact. Life is all life. So the more we invest in AI and technology to control our lives, what's the point of living? you just pretty much in the machine. Or like another movie, I don't know if you watched too much, The Matrix.
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
that was a movie. I mean, like a lot of those movies, like with The Matrix, especially ones in the 80s and stuff, they was like, like putting stuff out there. And it's just always fascinating to me how like a lot of that stuff, came to term basically. I mean, you look at it. You look at a movie like The Matrix. It's pretty much about the machines taking over and all that kind of stuff. You got the red pill and the blue pill. Like you can, decide whether you want to just like live your life artificially.
Well,
you just going about like with like other people controlling. What I'm saying, what you do and all that.
Well, there's always been that element, Mark. We can go back to the 1940s and 50s, especially in the 50s when they envisioned us right now to be flying around in flying cars, which is the concept that was made into the cartoons with the Jetsons. They actually thought that by now, that's how far technology would have come. But it has not gotten there, and I don't think we'll ever get to that point because it's just not possible to fly the size of automobiles that we drive in the air for various reasons.
It could be, but let me just say this real quick. Like not as much as being possible, but is it necessary?
Yeah. That's
the thing that we got away from a lot. Like, if you go back, okay, like I get the necessary, I get why it was necessary to have a automobile when they invented the car,
right.
The automobile.
Right.
I get that because before then we walked around, or if you was lucky enough to have a horse, if you want to visit somebody, like if I wanted to come visit you, it would probably take me like a day and a half to get to the city from where I'm at.
Well, well, that
things
depends.
Like that, I get it,
but that depends though when you think about it, because if you could take a horse and say, for instance, none of this land was developed. Remember, they could ride straight across and you can get there faster because you didn't have to go around curved roads and highways in order to get there. And there's no traffic either. So, that you take the good with the bad. Yeah, okay, we say that. Nobody wants to ride horses and nobody wants stinky horses around. But that was a way you could have gotten around faster than you get around right now sitting in this traffic in this city and across the country.
Yeah, you got a point there. Absolutely. That's the whole thing. Like we, like for me, like I say, I look at it like a lot of the stuff is like really, really unnecessary. Same thing with like we was talking about when you go out to restaurants all the time instead of making the food yourself. Because you somehow, I don't feel like cooking. It's so much a mess to clean up. Because I guess it all goes back to, like I was saying, as far as like us becoming more and more lazy, as a society where we don't want to read. It's important to be able to read books. It's important to be able to understand math and like have that knowledge. Okay, like you don't necessarily have to know trigonometry and all that kind of stuff. And if you not interested in all that, but you should be able to know how to count and subtract, add and subtract and count your money and be aware of like percentages and things of that nature, right? But again, once you start like, going along with, well, this is the trend, this is what everybody doing. Same thing goes until we didn't talk about Bitcoins and things like that, that cryptocurrency, right. I don't know. I'm a little bit old fashioned, but I still like to have and see money in my hand, like actually green money in my hands to feel and touch. Right. I don't want to necessarily have to use a card, a cryptocurrency, or Apple Pay, or GoPay, or whatever else they got going on. To buy things to get goods and services.
Right. So, Mark, as we wrap up this topic, what is your final thoughts on AI and its future?
As far as AI's future, it's taking over. It's here to take over. My final thoughts is that, I would hope people will be more aware and be more cautious when engaging and using it. I'm not saying don't use it at all, because you brought up a lot of good points where, AI could be beneficial. If you are somebody, like you said, driving in a car and you having some kind of medical emergency, because you never know. I mean, you know, people have had heart attacks or blacked out or, you know, whatever the case is. If you have a vehicle that can sense that, you know what I'm saying, you're like in a dangerous situation that can, like, you know, pull you off the side of the road or to shut off, you know what I'm saying, to avoid, you know, a bad or fatal accidents and disasters like that. Or when, like, you know what I'm saying, in a doctor's office or something, like, you know, can, like, you know, help them, you know what I'm saying, save a life. If it could be used to, you know, extend life, to help save lives, then that's great. But it's like you got to see who's in control of these systems and programs. Like, who are the people? Like, what are they doing it for? You know, you need to pay attention to be aware of these guys out here, and that's, you know, trying to do evil. And you got to stop normalizing.
Well, I'm going to give my final thoughts on it, because here is what I think. I think that AI can be a tool that can be used for a lot of great things. However, it can also be used for a lot of bad things. And people are using this technology in everything from videos to movies to music. And in the entertainment field in which we find ourselves in, I sometimes feel cheated and slighted by that, because there are AI programs who say that they are better MCs than people like the great KRS-One, who is one of the greatest MCs of all time. However, there are machines that think they can do better. Here's what I think. We can use AI for many great things, as I've discussed and we've talked about right here on the Grown Men Podcast. But as Mark said, we have to be careful in the way we use this technology. And we can't let this technology stay in the hands of others who only wish to do us harm and not help us. Well, folks, it appears our time is up. I'm glad you came in to listen to the Grown Men Podcast. Me and my brother Mark always deliver you some knowledge that you can use and hopefully help you in your life. Mark, thanks for stopping in on the Grown Men Podcast at We Rise Nation Network. We're going to see you again soon. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure as always.
All right, folks, if you want to know about anything about this podcast, leave us some comments. Head on over to WeRiseNation.com. We're updating that website. We're continuing to put some of the footage up that we had from the past, archives, and things that are going to be coming up for the future. So it's an interesting time at WeRiseNation.com. Well, I'm your host, BAN. Until next week, I will talk to you soon.
Where the grown men stay so you can kill that noise. We be the best to do it, coming out of Illinois. So sit back and relax, close your mouth and listen. We about to hit you with this knowledge that you've been missing. Listen closely to the Grown Men Podcast. We Rise Nation is the station with the gift of gab. We dropping knowledge on these topics that you wanna hear. We on point with it, get the picture loud.